In this video, we're going to look at average speed. And so average speed is just, your speed may change over a period of time, but you can kind of say like, what was the speed on average over that time period? And that's what it means, right? Average. So let's say you travel 200 meters in 10 seconds. What is your average speed? So again, it may have not been the same the entire time, but just what was it overall? So the formula for average speed is V bar, which means average, equals distance over time. That's really it. So basically in this situation, we're going to know 2 out of 3. In this case, we don't know the average speed, but we know the distance is 200 meters. And we know we do that over a period of 10 seconds. So 200 divided by 10, we get 20. So our average speed is 20, and the units come along for the ride, 20 meters per second. So the easiest thing to calculate is the average speed. When you know the distance and time, if you divide distance by time, you'll get your average speed. So that's the most straightforward, but there are 2 other types of problems we can have. So here's another example. In this case, we're given the speed, and we're given the amount of time that we're traveling for. So what we want to start this problem off with, write what we know. V bar is 30 meters per second. Time is 15 seconds. And we're looking for the distance. That's the unknown. So that's how you want to set it up. So here's our equation. And we want to solve for the distance, how far we went. So there's a number of ways to do this, but let's just start by plugging in our numbers. So V bar is 30. We don't know D, so I'm going to leave that as D, and we're going to put in 15 for time. So we want to solve for D here. So a really good algebraic skill to use is cross multiplication. So to do that, we're going to put 30 over 1. You can always divide a whole number by 1, and you're just going to cross these corners and multiply them. So you're going to do 30 times 15. So 30 times 15 is 450. And D times 1 is just D. So that was easy. We cross multiply, we got the answer. D is 450, and that's going to have units of meters. Now we should check that because it's easy to make algebraic mistakes. This equation, we know 100% is an accurate equation. V equals D over T. So let's plug our answer in here, 450 meters divided by what we originally had, 15 seconds, and see if you get the velocity you started with. So 450 divided by 15 is in fact 30. So it checks out, we did it correctly. So the distance we travel, if you're going 30 meters every second, if you do that for 15 seconds, you will be 450 meters away. It also makes sense. But double checking your answer is the most important. Here's the last question. In this case, we're given the speed. So again, V bar equals 15 meters per second. We're given how far to travel 600 meters. So here we're given the distance, and we do not know the time. This is usually the one people make the most mistakes on. So again, V bar equals distance over time. We're going to plug in 15. We're going to plug in 600, and we do not know T. So again, especially if your algebra skills aren't super strong, I suggest using the same strategy every time, which is put this over 1, cross multiply. So I'm going to do this and this. So what is 15 times T? It is 15T. 600 times 1 is 600. And so this one didn't just give me the answer right away. Now I got to solve for T. The way we do that is we divide both sides by 15. So the 15 cancels, and we get T equals 600 divided by 15, which in this case is going to be 40. And it's a time, it's going to be seconds. Now again, it's easy to make a mistake in our algebra. So we go back to the original equation, and we plug in our answers. We think distance is 600 meters. We think we solve this and have the time of 40. So we say 600 divided by 40, what do we get? And when we do that, we do in fact get 15 meters per second. It checks out. So always go back to this equation, just plug in. You'll save yourself mistakes and, prevent some errors from happening. So that's solving distance over time equations. Give that a shot, try the quiz. And until next time, I am Derek Genova. Have a delightful day.